I didn't attach any particular articles to this story. And this is not really a story, this is more of a free talk. Because here's the thing, as this fuel crisis goes, okay, I'm starting to see that there may be a correlation between that and community. The thing I've been telling you all along to get back into because you have no choice at this point. Yeah, that's going to make some people mad, but it's true. At this point, you no longer have choice. So right now, the flag you're looking at, before I bring up all my disclaimers and stuff, you're looking at the flag of Germany. What's happening in Germany right now? Because we all know everybody's feeling the fuel crisis. Y'all might get this a few days later, and most of you will know, but if you don't know, go look this up. Germany has now declared, and I think this is for people who are fighting age particularly, that you now have to ask and seek permission as a German citizen to leave the country. Even to recreationally travel, you have to ask and seek permission to leave. I'm not making that up. That's why I was silent for like a couple of seconds. Right now in Germany, they're making it to where, I think it hasn't kicked in yet and it won't till 2027, that if you are a German citizen, come 2027, you're going to have to ask for permission to leave. Which means they're going to be tracking those people's every freaking move. I'm not playing. Go Google this. This is a real thing. It's even been circulating on YouTube, on news channels. Philippines. The crisis is so bad, people are having to walk to work even when walking is not convenient for them. Because being out in the middle of an ocean on an island, this crisis has even affected them, so much so that Filipinos are now declaring that they despise the United States, when typically we've had one of the best relationships in the Asia Pacific with this nation of all nations. They despise us now. When once we had a thriving base there, Subic Bay, now they can't stand us. Australia, here's their flag. There was a prediction in Australia that this fuel crisis was coming 7 years ago. And technically 7 years ago, Trump was president the first time, but I'm not here to talk about who was president and talk about politics. Though a huge chunk of people in that country blames that particular person instead of the entire United States. 61%. Australians still were warned about this 7 years ago. There's a place in Australia, I forgot where, that for the next couple of weeks you can ride public transportation for free to offset the cost of fuel. They haven't discussed where the money was going to come from, but it offsets that cost. Now I'm going to show my disclaimers real quick. If you're traveling the world right now with that United States passport, that blue passport with that golden eagle, you can talk crap about being an expat all you want to. You can say all you want, all your entreaties about who you did and didn't vote for. Consider that you are now a target for what other people put us through and what we had no say-so in whatsoever. You are still a target. You see, the reason I made this quick video is because there is a correlation that didn't need me to bring up stories between this stuff happening and the increase in community. Right now, we're in the spring season, and most farmers markets go from spring to summer to fall, or at least early fall, and that's not a coincidence. See, when trucks stop moving and bringing you a variety of products, because fuel is what fuels most of our semi trucks in the United States. If any are taking alternative fuels or electric, I didn't know. Fill me in on that, because I have a few truckers that are sub to me so they can let you know how much trucking for the price of fuel. I heard from one trucker that I am sub to his channel, and he lives in the greater Seattle area, but from Texas, that just to fill up on one trip cost him over $1,000 when that same thing normally costs 700. And what's crazy is that he only drives in the greater Seattle area and is still paying that. He's not a long haul over the road trucker. He only lives in the greater Seattle area. You all underestimate this fuel crisis. You see, some of y'all listening to me got homes that are powered by gas, and this is one of the reasons I had preferred to have my wood burning stove and electric. If my electric go out, then I got this wood burning stove. That's not for me to boast. What I'm telling you is that this right here is not the time to have a house on gas, but if you do, you got to start making preparations now. Some houses are have gas or fully gas dependent. Most of our cars are gas dependent. It takes gas to move goods to and from across the country. Gas and fuel are needed to fly planes to and fro, trains. A lot of stuff is coming to a standstill. In Europe, in some countries, they've already grounded half of their planes, effectively messing up a lot of people's summer vacations. Look at this conundrum with spring break and some people not getting home to a week later because that's how bad it is. Some having to rent U-Hauls or to rent freaking cars to drive to another state and then turn them in later because of what's happening at airports. Tara, what is the correlation between this and community? I was watching television. Seattle has a new market. And the weird thing about this market is that this guy went out of his way, one of the organizers, to let you know that that market's full focus is on stuff made local. What does that mean for you? Because see, some of y'all that listen to me are averse to farmers markets. They cost too much money and they're overcharging for convenience and la la la. Here's my question. What's going to happen when you have no choice? Because when real panic set in, and for some people who are selfish and unthinking, it will, they're going to go clean out shelves. That's self-preservation. So I don't like when people panic buy, but I understand their need for self-preservation. Are you going to neglect giving your kids local grown meat, your whole household local grown meat and vegetables because you think they charge you so much for being local? There's going to come a time when that argument's going to be moot and it's going to do nothing for you. I'll be the first to tell you this fuel crisis is not a good thing. I'm not talking about the politics and nothing about it right now. I'll also be the first to tell you, if you are a smart person in 2026, if you don't do farmers markets, this is a year for you. Even your local thrift stores, whatever can save you money, you better know all of those places now and the ones that'll help you save gas. I feel fortunate I can be to my farmer's market without traffic in the morning tops 10 minutes. Now that would be a 3-4 hour walk, but in a car it would take me only minutes. And you better know more than one market, you better know more than one food bank. Better learn to grow to love rice and beans. And before I let you go, that's what I'm going to tell you. When you go in the grocery store, you better start carefully monitoring the shelves and how they stack them to make it look like there's abundance when there isn't. Because I've been seeing that for a year now, where they'll push stuff up to the front and make it look neat and clean. And when you move an item, you'll look to the back and there's no replacement back there. And mind you, some of that time, that's me going to the store early in the morning and watching them stock shelves. And they're still not stocking them to full capacity, which is why on Easter Sunday, which people call it Easter, I call it Resurrection Sunday, really. On Resurrection Sunday, I bought me some flour and will continue to buy more. Fuel is the thing that moves all of this stuff. Go in your local grocery stores and pay attention to how stuff is being, how your merchandise is being presented, and see what's already starting to disappear. See, the reason I tell you about this community, because this is the right time for you to know that wherever your local farmers markets are, even if you go do your free parking thing and you just go to get an ideal about prices, you don't have to buy anything. Just go to some that are the closest to you. Go to thrift stores that are the closest to you. Get with people who make homemade soap, laundry detergent, any of these things you don't want to do. Local fruits and vegetables, meats. I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm telling you honey, all that stuff. I'm telling you to go and start pricing the stuff to get a good idea of how much you'd have to pay for it when you're forced to go local. Because that's not an if at this point, it's when. Some stuff, the big box stores ain't going to be there for you anymore. But while you still got big box stores, you might want to start buying tea, coffee, rice, beans, all that stuff that's made overseas. Pineapple, even if you have to make it, freeze it ahead of time. Just telling you, it's about to get crazy out here. The Strait of Hormuz could open tomorrow. It's going to take weeks, if not months, for this to catch up. Because that's what globalism is. All you have is communities. Just go to the market on Saturday. You don't even have to buy anything. Just walk around, get a good sense for what's being sold in your local markets, the prices. And if you don't want to go anywhere and you have internet at your house or you have access to a library, open an internet page, go look up all of your thrift stores and your bargain stores that carry a little of everything, like Grocery Outlet. Goodwill, we can get into an argument of how that's not feasible anymore, but that's another story for another day. You're gonna have to start shopping locally from now on, no matter how much it costs you. If I'm giving you a homework assignment, go out and just get a feel for how much stuff is gonna cost. All right, I don't know when this is going to lift. I suspect it's going to last a lot longer than we think. 2026 is going to be a crazy year, y'all. It already is. Get out in your local community, start building relationships, because I suspect that those relationships are what's going to carry you up to the 2030 agenda. All right, y'all take care.